We will continue with the third level with some visual imageries and images so that you can better understand the story. This is the third level, the Grand Central Station. What is the theme of the story? It is complexity of human mind, escapism, time travel, sense of insecurity, to run away from reality. All of these we have covered in our previous video. What was the time of America in 1950s? It was the Cold War times, right? Fear, anxiety, insecurity, war, everything was there. People were psychologically disturbed, traumatized. Main characters Charley, Louisa, and Sam Waino. Charley is the protagonist and the narrator. He is super sensitive, highly imaginative, who always flies to his fanciful imaginations. He is a loving husband. He is a true representative of the modern mindset means modern people of the war times. He is a victim of insecurity, indecisions, and wants to escape from the hubdub of the modern world. He is a stamp collector, that is a philately, which his psychiatrist friend Sam calls a temporary refuge from reality. Fascinated by the good old simple days of his grandfather, when things were pretty nice and peaceful. So, this is what we know about Charley. He discovers suddenly he discovers the third level, and he discovers it once, and then the second time he fails to locate it, right? When he and his wife think they have proof, they fail to find it despite their best efforts. Describes How does he describe? He is just an ordinary man of 30, tan gabardine suit. Who is Sam Weiner? Sam Weiner is a psychiatrist friend. Initially, we have seen that he is perfect in his profession when he explains or gives argument to Charlie, saying that whatever you have seen, it is just a figment of your imagination because you want to escape to the pre-war peaceful and harmonious times. Okay, he is a friend of Charlie. His diagnosis is precise and very terse. He does not believe in mixing up his profession and his friendship. So he is a very professional man. More points about Sam. He clearly tells he is looking for ways to escape since he is not happy. He had once mentioned to Charlie that he is not happy with what he is doing. He gets fascinated with the stories of Charlie's childhood where he had spent with his grandfather, right? He also wanted to escape the modern world. Okay. Sam and the third level later he too is affected by the pulse and pressure of the modern world, and in his subconscious mind seeks an escape route, although he knows the truth very well as he is a psychiatrist. In the end of the story, he too discovers the third level of the Grand Central Station and escapes to Galesburg, Illinois. What about his wife Louisa? Louisa is a practical person. She refuses to accept any criticism, even if it happens to be a positive and rational one. So the psychiatrist observation that her husband was unhappy angers her. Why? Because she thought that her husband is unhappy in the marriage, and she challenges it. She takes the comment as a personal attack on her responsibility and care as a wife towards her husband, and she feels kind of mad. This also hints at the insecurity. So, insecurity, anxiety, frustration, these are found not only in Sam or Charlie but also in Louisa. In fact, these people are the representatives of all the people of that time. Okay. However, she was a very loving and caring wife. She feels satisfied with the psychiatrist's explanation when he explains that that Charlie is frustrated with the insecurity and fear of the modern world. Right. But little does she realize that he is saying the same thing in different words. When Charlie talks to her about his predicament regarding the third level, she gets pretty worried and discouraged him to further to look for the third level anymore. However, she is a credulous lady, not given to reason but thinks of her own, and she believes very readily. When Charlie tells her about Sam's disappearance, she also joins him in looking for the third level every weekend. Other personalities referred to: President Roosevelt. Please follow the timeline. President Roosevelt, whose reference we have found in the the second page, right? That President Roosevelt also used to collect stamps. President Cleveland, his reference we find in the front page of the newspaper, the World. Okay, President Cleveland. James Garfield, his reference we find in the first day cover that Charlie discovers from his collection. This was his President Garfield's stamp was there, right? Reaction to Charlie's finding the third level. So initially, Sam just shuns his Charlie's finding as a waking dream wish fulfillment. He said it was an attempt to escape the modern world, which is full of fear and worry. Charlie's friends agreed to this and said his hobby of stamp collection was also a temporary refuge from reality. All right. What were the things that he has seen? This is called handlebar mustache, leg of mutton sleeves. Okay, you see the upper part of the sleeve is puffed up. Sideburns, these are called sideburns. Open flame gas lights, not electric lights. These were the things that he could see in the third level. Brass spittoons, Courier and Ives locomotive, all these things, and hence he knew that he has come to 1894. In order to be sure, he buys a copy of the newspaper The World, and the date was 11 June 1894. Suspicions confirmed that he had traveled to the past. The World had stopped publishing long ago. All right. Charlie tries to buy two tickets for Galesburg. He tries to pay with the currency in his pocket, which is the current currency. The clerk, the ticket collector, the person who was selling the tickets, he accuses him of fraudery, fake currency. Charlie remembers that and this currency was not valid in the past. He escapes back to the second level, fearing trouble. Next day, what he does, he exchanges all his savings for old style dollar bills. He had to pay a premium. So this is the previous times, this is the modern times. All right. But to his surprise, he never found the third level. What is a first day cover? It is an envelope with a stamp that stamp collectors mail to themselves on the first day of its sale to mark the date. This date we are referring to, this date. Okay, these are usually empty and not meant to be open. So this is just to keep the stamp on the day it is issued. Sam's letter to Charlie. The letter, so Charlie discovers a first day cover that was previously not there. He discovers the letter. In the letter, Sam informed that he had been living in the third level and encouraged Charlie and his wife to keep on looking for the third level until they find it. Existence of third level is not clear. Maybe it can be a product of Charlie's imagination. The story can be interpreted as a science fiction dealing with time travel. However, what we cannot escape is third level is a symbol of escape from the present world full of war, worry, anxiety, and to a much more peaceful past. War only causes death on both sides. Wars must be avoided. Okay, so it leaves us with an open end, that did the third level really exist? Now what, and one interpretation could be the third level was a figment of imagination, done by a figment of imagination by our narrator. Okay, but at the same time the existence of the first day cover shows that maybe that is also his imagination, so that in this war, in this tough times, we really need something to cling by, so that we can move on with our lives. We need an objective, we need a goal, and maybe finding the third level is the objective that will help Charley to sustain this war-stricken times. All right. Okay, in our next video, we will see the analytical points from this chapter. Okay, please go through this chapter. This is a very interesting lesson, a bit difficult. However, from the board's point of view, if you say, this is a very easy scoring chapter. All right, this is a very easy scoring chapter. Thank you, students. See you in part 4 of the third level.